Welcome back to PonyFans Live. PonyFans Live brought to you by Lakewood's First and 10, northeast corner of Mockingbird and Abrams, voted the best sports bar in Dallas by D Magazine. Game Day Cloth, love your team, love your clothes. Visit their store at the corner of Legacy and the Tollway in Plano. And PonyFans.com, the oldest, largest, and only free website dedicated to the SMU Mustangs and pony fans everywhere. We are joined now by sophomore linebacker Jagarrett Davis. Jagarrett Davis, who is fourth on the team in tackles and, more impressively, tied for second in the country in quarterback sacks this year. And before we get to what you're doing so far this year, let's go back a little bit. Coming out of Crockett High School in East Texas, you were district co-MVP. You were a 3A All-State selection with 228 tackles in your last couple of years. What kind of defense did you play? Because a lot of times a linebacker will come out of a high school and their assignment is basically find the ball and go get it. Did you have specific assignments, or was that sort of your role, find the ball and go get it?
I came from an exact type defense I'm in now. We played like a 3-4. Like, we kind of based our defense off like what we, like the defense we run now at SMU. So I was kind of used to it. I was like a rover. So I played the outside. So I also played safety too. So I also got to play a little deep. So it's fun. I got to run around, hit people like I like to do. So.
As you definitely like to do. And you came in last year, you started 5 games, you played in all 13, but when you arrived, you were listed at 6'1" and 200. First of all, was that 200 a little generous?
No, that's why I came in.
That was legit?
Yeah, it's legit.
All right, because, you know, people always say when I get to college, I got to hit the weight room, get stronger. Was there any talk of redshirting last year, or did you know you were going to get on the field right away once you got here?
Coach Jones and Coach Mason had mentioned it to me. He said it depends on how I came in and my progression through like learning the defensive schemes and how I progressed in the weight room depending on if I got on the field or not. So I took heed to it and I ran with it.
You get here last year as a freshman, you're competing for playing time right away. On the other side, Yuri Yenga is a junior, but in a way he's kind of a freshman too. He's moving to a new position from defensive end to linebacker. And your defensive coordinator, Tom Mason, has said several times that you and he sort of helped each other along. What did you learn from Yuri when you first got here and started adjusting to playing at the college level?
When I first got here, I was like loose. I was loose. I didn't know what to do. I was like this out there. But Yuri like guided me. He sat me down and talked to me a few times, like showed me how to like handle myself like in and out of practice, on the field, out the field, in the classroom, and like I showed them, like when it came to football, I showed them like different techniques to like get the jump on the ball, like how to fake out the lineman, which he also showed me because he used to play DN, so he knew all the hand gestures and techniques to get the shit to block. So we helped each other out.
A lot of versions of the 3-4 defense, including Coach Mason's version, are designed so the linebackers will make a lot of plays. And obviously that holds true here. Pete Fleps is leading the team in tackles. Taylor Reed is second, you're third, and Yuri Yenga's fifth. 4 of the top 5 tacklers on the team are linebackers. And you think about a lot of these teams, they thrive based on what the defensive ends are doing in front. The Cowboys, DeMarcus Ware and Anthony Spencer are big stars. They're hiding behind 2 enormous defensive ends. True. How much do you and Yuri benefit from hanging out behind Taylor Thompson and Marcus Hunt, who are 2 of the biggest defensive ends you're going to see at this level?
Oh man, having them 2 is like a major help. They open me in Europe so much because they deserve so much attention. Because Marcus Hunt, he's 6'9", almost 300 pounds. He's strong as an ox. Taylor Thompson, he's 6'6", strong as an ox. So them 2, like firing off the ball hard as they can play. They got to double team them, which give me and you enough time to explode out the ball and get in the backfield and create havoc.
Do you literally almost hide behind those guys before you pick your seam where you're going to go?
I really do, because halftime, like, with our defense, Coach Mason basically let us line up how we want, but when the ball snaps, as long as we fire off in our gaps, we can do what we want. So halftime, we like come with little skins to hide behind them and make it seem like we not there. So when the ball snaps, they don't know we there, so we jet in the backfield. We be there before they even know it hit them, which, you know, that's what I like to do.
Yes, you do. You definitely do. Now, before we look ahead to Tulsa, you had a kind of big game on Saturday. You had, let's see, 8 tackles. You had a sack, your 6th sack of the year. and you had a 77-yard touchdown off a blocked field goal. If I remember right, Margus gets all the attention for blocking all these kicks, but he wasn't in on that one, was he? Didn't he get dinged up a play or two before that? How does that change what you as a block unit and Coach McKnight are doing when you don't have that 6'8" guy in the middle? Talk about that play and how Yuri was able to get that block before you returned it.
Actually, like I ain't know Marcus wasn't in like before the block kick because usually he's always in there. I always expect him to be in there, but like I ain't know he wasn't in there till we like got down. I looked inside and I ain't see him, but like it's okay because I know like everybody is gonna do their job. So Grenier was actually in, so everybody gave their push, and which also was opened up the scene for Yuri to get through. He came scot-free, like nobody touched him. We watched film. He blocked it. It just so happened to roll my way. It's like a scoop and score drill back in practice. Okay, you see the ball pop free, it heads your way. Is there any temptation to just fall on it like they teach you when you're a little kid? Because I know obviously Coach McKnight talks about, and Coach Mason on defense, they talk about scoop and score like you said. Was there any temptation to just fall on it and wrap it up? Oh no, I love to run, so it's just a scoop and score like always. You scoop it up, you take off down the sideline. By the time you got down near the end zone, some Rice player fell in front of you. You looked kind of gassed getting over him. How long was that run? Oh, man. Did it feel longer than it looked? It felt way longer than it was. I didn't know what to expect because what it was that long drive we had because we was already on like an 8 or 9 play drive. Then this happened, they blocked it and I scooped it up. I was running hard till we got about to 50. After that, I was gassed. I was just trying to hope my blocker took me on home. Last year, when you guys went up and beat Tulsa in Tulsa, the storyline that people kept talking about was this new quarterback you had, making his first start, and of course, we know what Kyle Padron has done since then. But that was also your first career start, and you had 9 tackles, you had 1.5 sacks, and you knocked their quarterback out of the game. Do you remember the play that you knocked him out? Walk us through that. What happened on that helped you put G.J. Kinne out of that game? Actually, it was a whip stunt where I actually blitzed through the A-gap. And matter of fact, Taylor Thompson was on my side. It was him and Taylor Reed, actually. They blitzed outside, which basically took the guard and tackle with them, which gave me a scot-free run. And he didn't see me coming, so I basically like hit him like all in his ear hole and chest area. It just took him out. And then how much difference does their offense get when G.J. Kinne goes off and they bring in Shavadrik Beaver? I guess he's primarily a running quarterback, but didn't he originally sign with Michigan before he ended up going to Tulsa? Very mobile guy. Do they pass less when they go with him? They actually do, because like they so based off having G.J. Kinne as their quarterback. They know he's able to throw the ball around everywhere he can get to, like their receivers. But when we knocked them out the game, like they playbook shrinks, like went from like a probably 50-play script to probably like a 5 to 10-play script. So it was good for, it was bad for them, so we actually benefited from it. He's not the first guy whose bell you've rung since you've been here, and there was a story this week in the morning news about you, and, you know, again, you got here, you're 200 pounds, now you're up to what, 215, 220? 225, 225, all right. But even when you weren't as big as you are now, you've always been a very explosive hitter. Where does that come from? It comes from, like, I have an older brother, and like when I was growing up, all I did was play football with him, like him and his friends. So they taught me if I had to play with them, I had to be hard, to be tough, come hard. If not, I was gonna get my bell rung. So that's where I got it from. How were you able to rattle G.J. Kinne? Because obviously you knocked him out eventually. He couldn't come back, had a concussion. And he was fine. He came back and played the rest of the season. But even before you knocked him out of the game, it just seemed like he wasn't in sync with his receivers. Was it the speed that you were getting to him with? I mean, I don't mean just you individually, but the defense. Was it because you were swarming him so fast, everybody hitting him hard? How was it that you were able to sort of get in his head and force a game that, frankly, isn't very typical for a guy with that much talent? What it was, like, before they played us, like, they offensive line was blocking so well. He had so much time back there in the pocket. And like that week, Coach Mason, Coach Hand, Coach Odom stressed us. We got to get pressure on the quarterback. We can't give him time to sit back there or he'll pick us apart like he's been doing like everybody else. So like before the game started, Coach Mason like stressed us, get pressure, get pressure, get pressure. just fire off the ball, go hard, and close the pocket on him and see how he react to it. And as you can see, he didn't react too good to it.
I had a conversation earlier this week with Kyle Padron talking about how in baseball, young players sort of prove themselves once they see a team for the second time, and or if it's a pitcher, they go through a rotation the second time. They get their second crack at Kyle Padron. They have an idea of what he can do now, but you also get your second crack at G.J. Kinne. What do you know about him now from studying film that you didn't know last year when you went up to go see him?
I can tell now from last year he's way more confident. He's like way more cocky now. Because now he knows the offense. Like last year he knew it, but he just didn't know it like as well as he do now. Like Kyle, like when Kyle first got in, he knew the offense, but he was like he's like timid, like he didn't want to do something like be jittery and be wrong. But now I can tell that Kyle like is way more confident in the offense, just like G.J. Kinne is. So it's gonna be a good little battle.
Word out of Tulsa is that their offensive line is totally different than last year. I think they got 4 or 5 of the same guys there, but they're playing differently. Do they look different on film to you?
You can tell they way more, like, what can I say? You can tell they mature. They know their assignments better. They know they blocking scheme. They know what to do. They know like what kind of blitz to split, but they haven't played us yet. So that's another thing.
Well, that's true. That's true. We were talking about it a little bit with Chris. The senior receiver they have, Damaris Johnson, he's tiny, but he's explosive, and he's dangerous with the ball in his hands, and they do all sorts of things to get the ball to him. How hard is that to defend, not knowing where he's going to go and not knowing all the different ways they're going to get? If G.J. Kinne is the key to slowing down this offense, is Damaris Johnson number 2?
Yeah, you can say that because they put him in so many schemes to where he can be lined up as an outside receiver, slot receiver. He can even be lined up as an H-back, but he can also be lined up at quarterback or running back. They have so many schemes and plays set up for him because what they game play is to get him in the open field and just let him work. Because he's so explosive, but he's so jittery where he can make a cut on the dime and get right back to top speed in 4 steps. So he's very hard to control and stop, but I think we got something for him.
Coach Mason said that Tulsa might use more formations for their offense than any school in the country. He said they'll come out with maybe 60 different looks. And they don't run a whole lot of plays out of all that, but they're so good at disguising that sort of thing. What's harder to defend, their talent and athletic ability, or trying to decipher what they're doing out of all these different looks they're going to throw at you?
I'd say it probably be their talent, because our defense is set up to where it can cover down on just about anything they put out there. We just got lined up to it. But they got so many explosive athletes to where they give them the ball, they can go sick. They go for a touchdown anytime. So as long as we lock them down, then we should be all right.
Last year you were on the kickoff coverage team. This year you're not. But last year you got to chase Damaris Johnson around in Tulsa. And against TCU, you got to chase Jeremy Curley, who some people are saying these are 2 of the best kickoff return guys in the country. How are they different from each other, and how is Johnson so effective returning kicks?
Let me see. I would say they are probably 2 of the best like return guys I have ever faced since I've been playing football. Because with Curley, he's like more of a one cut and he's gone. Cause he has like some speed that not too many people in NCAA have. When we find the holes he hits, he's gone. But with Johnson, he's like so shifted to where he can make a move, he can be going full speed to the left and stop on a dime and go to the right like he been running their way the whole time. So he's more of a shake and bake character than like a downhill running. But when he does hit downhill, yes, he is kind of hard to catch.
You glad you're not on kick coverage now with these guys coming in this weekend?
Nah, I kind of miss kickoff. It is.
Do you? Yes, you want to chase that guy around?
Yeah, I love the challenge.
Fair enough, fair enough. You do have a challenge on Saturday. Tulsa's coming in, number 8 offense in the country. If you don't have tickets, get them now. Be at Ford Stadium Saturday night. I want to thank our guests, Chris Banjo, Jagarrett Davis, This is PonyFans Live. Check out ponyfans.com to see who next week's guest will be.